today we're going to be taking two of my absolute favorite Thanksgiving dishes, ham and mac and cheese. For my mac and cheese balls, I kind of like to use what I got, and I just so happen to have some leftover cornbread mix.
Eat your cornbread.
Reason why I like to use cornbread mix is because it has two of the essential ingredients I would have probably used anyway, like flour and cornmeal. Plus, I like a little sweetness to them. I think it balances out with the saltiness of the ham and the mac and cheese. All right, so first thing we're going to have to do, we're going to have to prepare the mac and cheese and the ham. We're going to have to toss them in the freezer, so you might want to start them first. All right, so first thing you're going to want is a bowl of some sort. You're going to have to put your mac and cheese in that bowl. For those who eat baked macaroni and cheese, we all know the struggles of cold mac and cheese. So what you're going to do is take a fork and kind of break it apart, just to kind of loosen it up a little bit. When you break it apart, it should have kind of like this consistency here. All right, so we're going to set this aside for a minute. Now we're going to take out our ham. Now, what I have left is kind of like the unsliced portion, just from what I haven't sliced, kind of like the end pieces, because everyone likes the middle pieces, but we're gonna work with them. All right, so you're gonna want to cut these fuckers into a small as possible. Just kind of cube them. They may not be rustic cuts, maybe kind of rustic, but just get them smaller. Take off some of the skin. I don't know if you want to keep them for yourself, but I'm not a big fan of it, so I kind of take it off. After you're finished, it should look something like this. Now, you want to take all the ham, put it with the mac and cheese. Next, just mix everything up. Honestly, guys, for this recipe, there really is no need to mix anything up, considering the fact that probably your grandmama made it, or your mama made it, your auntie, your uncle, whoever, you know, somebody who is probably going to season this stuff pretty well. If not, I'd say probably you can add some salt and pepper to this, and that's pretty much all you want to add. Now, make sure you wash your hands, guys. But what you want to do is you want to take your macaroni and cheese and ham mixture, and you pretty much just grab, not much, about a golf ball size, and just roll them up. Try to get it as tight of a ball as you possibly can. Roll it up. You rolling it in your hand will kind of start to warm the cheese a little bit, so it should stick together. But once you finish, you'd have something that looks kind of like this. Kind of looks like the weirdest meatball you ever seen in your entire life. Now all you want to do is just finish rolling all of them until you pretty much have used your entire mixture. All right, so now that we have them all in balls, it's time to put them in the freezer. So at this point now we just played a waiting game. You want to keep your mac and cheese balls in the freezer for about an hour, just so they can hold up a little bit in the fryer. You can start getting other things together for it, like the eggs and the flour or breadcrumbs, whatever you like to use. All right, first thing you want to do is make your egg mixture. I like to use 2 eggs for mine. Then you add a little bit of milk. All right, next I'm going to take this aside, and I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to open up my pack of, can't get the bitch out of my mouth, my pack of cornbread mix, just to put it in here, you know. Typically there should be no clumps, but you know, if there is, you can shake them out. I take a fork and start to get them out to hold on. I just don't want any of these clumps to start sticking to my fried mac and cheese balls. Like I said in the beginning, guys, I like to use what I have. So if you have cornmeal or breadcrumbs, by all means, I have used them all, and I kind of prefer to just use it because I like, again, I like the sweetness, the contrast, the saltiness of the other ingredients in the mac and cheese balls. But if you have cornbread mix, it works just as well, I promise. To ensure the highest quality mac and cheese balls, after you coat them, you might want to stick them back in the freezer for maybe about another 20 minutes or so, just so the eggs have a chance to kind of seep into the mixture, but also to kind of harden up so it doesn't just all fall apart when you put it in a deep fryer. All right, next we're going to take our macaroni balls and we're going to kind of coat them in the eggs, get them completely coated all around the entire thing. And the reason why we're doing this is so that the cornbread mix could stick to the mozzarella. I mean, the fuck am I talking about? Stick to the macaroni balls. So you want it to be completely coated. So even if you gotta add some to the top, make sure it's completely coated. It should look like a fucking powdered donut or whatever you want it to look like. Whatever you can imagine this could look like, it looks like that. Alright, so now you wanna try to add all of them to it. If it's big enough, add them all just because it just makes life so much easier. Alright, now it's time to flip them. Now that they're all flipped, pretty much you want to cook them until they're golden brown. A little bit of extra browning on top is kind of bound to happen because of the weight of the macaroni and the ham, so it's going to kind of stick to the bottom. So I guess a tip to avoid that is to kind of line them up around the edges where the heat isn't so centered, and you might avoid those kind of like those crispy tops. But I personally like them, so you know, to each his own. All right, these little motherfuckers are volcanic inside, so I do not suggest eating these directly out of the fryer. If not, you will be hating yourself for it, I promise. So there you have it, guys. One delicious as fried macaroni and ham ball.